Hi. I had one of those really interesting days where in the morning it started out weird, and then anger, and mistakes were made, and I was like, I don't know about today. And then things just kept getting better, and the sun was shining, and all was, you know, as well as it's been. And I went to the garden, and I had company, and we found this huge harvest, and I got like so much stuff, and there's so much more to come. Like this is just blackberries from today. Like I picked them today. If I go out, if I go out, there'll be more to pick. Cucumber burps, because I was eating cucumbers from the garden, and I was a little zealous about it, or what do you call it, like overzealous, and I have like little overgestion, where it's like too much, or indigestion, that's what it is. I knew it was something like this. Look, blackberries are delicious. I'm gonna have one now, like a blackberry brandy cigar. Maybe not. I knew somebody, bless them, that was their drink. They had the blackberry brandy, so whenever I think of that, it doesn't bring me good memories because of the misfortune it caused them in their life. It was their chosen poison. So, hey, this is but one life to live. Do you want to live it like that? Look, I can't even show you everything. It's heavy too. Zucchinis, they're big. The zucchini, like the stalks that the zucchinis grow off of are as thick as these things. It's crazy. And I feel blessed, and it was so great to be able to share like everything you just saw there. I gave like more than that away. It was great. And then what's the other thing I want to say? Oh, gooseberries. I can't show you those, they're in the freezer. I have like 2 gallon size, hold on, I can feel the nanites. There we go. I want nanites dying in my blood, so I gotta be jacked in, but I'm not gonna, look, I'm trying to be good. Okay, so yeah, I had, what else? Apples, they're small, but here's something that happens, like gardening stuff. I planted a bunch of different trees together, and unfortunately my mulberry tree sort of eclipsed an apple tree. So now every year at a certain time, which is now, the leaves fall off, and then it loses the apples, so they don't get like they should. But these are edible and they're good, and I'm glad to have them. So I was one misfortune. And the other one was cucumbers. These are perfectly edible. I think there's half of one laying here that I ate half of it already. That's why I have indigestion. Not really. A little bit. It's just cute. You ever eat cucumbers? You're like, yeah, I ate a cucumber feeling, and I don't want to eat anything else. I think it's called full of cucumber water, and yet I want more. It's much healthier than a cigarette. They said if you want to quit smoking, eat cucumbers. What am I, Bugs Bunny? Almost, right? Oh, I've seen Way Future Scott. He's definitely Bugs Bunny. It's like Bugs Bunny and Jesus, and if it wasn't for that and whatever angels pick him up and carry him around, he would get nowhere. I can't believe it. The pop culture Marahahara Babata, that's crazy. Anyway, look, you don't need to know about that. That's about the future. Alright? Look, what's wrong with these? They're edible, but they're not as green as they should be, and they're a little bit too little bulbous. Don't they look cute? Like they should have eyeballs, like hey. Anyway, no, these are cucumbers, and they didn't have enough soil under them because I had them growing out of like a tarp thing to block weeds. So the cucumbers want dirt to grip into for the whole thing, and that'll help them be green. Or at least that's where I suspect I went wrong. Why do you want to hear this? It's just gardening shit. I'll be talking about other stuff later. So look. They're not supposed to look like this. They'll taste good, but it was close. These are almost the kind that are sour, like on the outside, and on the inside you can't eat them. You're like, right? But no, they needed more soil to grow on. There's a bunch of them. Look, here's another one. It's big. What are you gonna do with this? You eat it. Yeah. Somebody else, my garden mate or whatever you want to call it for today, they was like, oh, I'm gonna make cucumber salad. So I gave them like a whole bunch of cucumbers. There's so many, and there's different kinds too, like these long skinny ones, like these ones. Hello, you didn't put enough soil underneath the cucumber vines, so when they grew out, you gave you cucumbers, but they're yellow. And the advice, all signs seem to point to that they needed more soil underneath the vines growing out, which is easily accommodated for. I'm gonna do that because I have more cucumbers coming in. Hello, can you hear me? Hold on, I can't get, hello? Oh, I forgot to call him. That's why it's not working. Hold on, let me call him. 1 ringy dingy, 2 ringy dingy. Oh, who am I? You know who I'm imitating? That's Lily Tomlin, High Priestess of the Occult. I'm just kidding. Hello? Oh yeah, you're there now? How'd you know I was gonna call you? You ever have that thing where you're on the phone with, this is the thing that used to happen in the olden days. I don't think it happens with cell phones, but in the olden days, like a phone that was on a cord and you'd put it down and go click. Remember that? Probably not. But anyway, it used to be like that. And the phone was on a cord, so if you want to talk to your best gal or your boyfriend or whatever, you had to like stretch that cord as far as you could to get any kind of privacy, even if you had to go into the potato bin to talk to your high school, your future, your bride or your husband to be, to get any kind of privacy, to talk to them and say, I saw you in gym class. Ooh, stop it. You gotta behave. We're not married yet. You can't talk about gym class, and that's lustful. No, it wasn't. You had a flower in your hair. I thought it was beautiful. And that's why I beat up Kurt Thompson, because I saw him give it to you. You should see he has 2 black eyes. Look, you're mine, woman. Stay away from him. Look, you want to get married to me or not? Who is this? Who am I talking to? I'm losing my mind. It's a game called telephone, and it's really easy to get anybody to do, especially in this day and age when like people's parents, like Y and Z and the millennials, I think they all their parents grew up watching like MTV reality shows, so you go in a confessional booth, but instead of saying anything to God in private and secret, you just say, guys, guess what? Everybody else is jerks and I'm the best one, and why are they so mean to me? I'm the victim. And then everybody gets in there, and that's MTV. It's a wrap. That's a season. Where are we sending them next year? Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of fun watching new seasons of The Real World. It's like, who is that? I can't tell their eyes apart. They both have brown eyes. I can't tell. They have the same eyebrows and everything. Why'd they cast them? They have to cast people with different eyebrows. Don't they know this is the casting in the future? Are you listening to me? This is a talent. I'm calling the talent agency now. Beep boop beep boop 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 boop. Hello, David. I don't want to talk to you. This is David Spade. I forgot that was his 1-800-ATT call collect thing. I can't do that. It was a Carrot Top. I thought it was. Oh, they're hanging out together. Why are Carrot Top and David Spade hanging out? Uh-oh. I think there's gonna be a really cool movie coming out soon. I just want to hang around and goof. I want to hang out with you. I want to goof around. That's what this is. I'll show you something now. I messed it up. My nephew came up with a character, and I haven't drawn anything in a while, so I drew the thing that he invented, which is called Googie, I think, and instead I called it Woogie because I forgot it or misremembered it. What absolves me of guilt and tries to just like make it just like happenstance accident? I don't know. I just forget. Anyway, I could have remembered, but I did it without pre-thought, no pencil. I just drew this in Sharpie, and boy did I have a lot of fun because I was in a small room. It was like, did you ever get Sharpie boxed? Yes. I think I'm dumber. I want to take an IQ test. I actually don't want to take an IQ test. I have a pretty good idea. Look, I'm one of those people, when I heard about this when they were new. There's people who talk about whippets and stuff. I'm not even going to say what they are. I would never do that kind of thing. I'm like, that's just dumb. Why would you do that? And then one time, I dated a girl who used to sniff glue and go into the woods, model glue, when you could buy that. That's how old I am. I'm from the olden days. Model glue. You go into the hobby store. What? Hobby store would have model glue. And then she would go buy model glue and go in the woods and listen to Pink Floyd's Animals and think that the trees were giraffes' necks. And I was like, that's terrible. Like, that's your childhood? I was like lifting up rocks and looking for bugs and stuff. And one time, you know, we saw girls. We tried to talk to them. That, you know what I mean? Other people, they're like, you know, I just told you. Anyway, I don't know why I keep holding this up. Yeah, it was just something that somebody else invented, and I drew it. I haven't drawn anything in a long time, and I hadn't thought about it. Like this stuff, you know, like, I mean, like in personal life, just like, I'm just like, I'm not nothing for work, no nothing. It's just I'm like not thinking about it, and like this came out. Why? Because I think this was like a pack of socks or t-shirts or something, had a board in it, and I always save the boards like this because I'm an artist. And for years I would always, like, I have like probably crates of these things. Not really. I have like a whole stack of pizza boxes and shit. And underwear cardboard or whatever this is. And I would just draw on them. And I'd get a lot of really good drawings. Not that this is one, not that it's bad. I'm out of touch with it. But I would do these drawings. I have a menagerie of them. I can make an episode out of them because I have a lot of them still. And I wonder if any of them are just like ruined because of oil stains or whatever food was in there or whatever. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. Like, I don't order anything. I don't order food, like, ever. I make food. I've had the job where I'm the cook, I'm the chef, whatever they want, a title they want to put in front of me where I make your food for you. I've done that, okay? I've done that. I've gone to take people who are shopping and then take them home because they're, what do you call it? I had the job where I'm a nurse where, like, I would make people meals for them, and I'd be given a meal plan that had the nutrition of whatever the people needed. They were convalescing. And I would go and I'd make their meals for them who were convalescing, you know, until their insurance ran out. And it was always really weird because it was just like, yeah, you don't go there anymore. I'm like, why? And like, their insurance ran out. I'm like, but, you know, like, you get to know people and they get to know you and they depend on you because I'm helping them move furniture and shit, which is part of the job. You're allowed to do it. You're just not allowed to touch their pills. I wasn't like a real nurse, so I couldn't touch pills, but I could take them for food and then prepare the food. And it was kind of a cool job. But, you know, I'm sure I complained about it at the time because it didn't pay good. But it was, like, actually a good job, you know. And I never worked for anybody. It was a stinker. It's all about me, I guess. So anyway, what was my point in all this? Oh. Something about feeding people. I don't know. Making food taste good is simple. Don't put too much stuff in there. And then find something to accent that isn't something that's never accented in any dish ever. Like, don't make everything like, this is gonna be all about oregano. It's not gonna work, okay? It's good, but it needs to be in its right amount. And I don't know if this holds true anymore, but when I was, again, I'm from the olden days, if you would get an English, you know, translated in an English cookbook of Chinese recipes, it didn't have any measurements, because in Chinese cooking, what they told us in America when I was growing up in cookbooks was that the Chinese don't have measurements. If you're a good chef, you should know how much of whatever to put in, like a pinch of this, a spoonful of that, and you figure it out to taste, and that's how you come up with your own recipes, and that's how you learn to be a chef. So the recipes would just say ingredients, and then you got to figure it out because you've eaten a thing, or you want to, you know, maybe you'll come up with your own weird version of it or something. When people eat Chinese food in America, that's not anything like the Chinese food they eat in China. You'd have to go to like Panda Express in China, if they have that, and to get American Chinese food. And would it take, I don't know, do they have that in China? I don't care. It's the one place I never wanted to visit. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot we were LARPing here. So anyway, it kills nanites, okay? It's a problem. You think you want to hang out with them like Vin Diesel and heals your wounds like Wolverine? It doesn't do that, alright? It's more like Battle Angel Alita, where everybody needs parts. And everybody's trying to get from Jaru to Zalem. Get it? Jaru, Zalem. Ha. Anyway, that's in the movie, alright? I've never even really seen that movie fully 100%. I don't need to. I'm the man without a pop culture. What do I told you, I'm out of touch. So we're talking about food or something? I don't know. Yeah, but it's good to have this harvest. And the thing is, there's so much more stuff coming in. But it was like, the stuff that was harvested today was so great. It was cool to do it with somebody else. I didn't think about it, but I was like, man, it's kind of cool that somebody else is here. Because we're going through, and she's pulling leaves off of cabbages and stuff like that. And don't worry, it's not a romantic thing. I have nothing like that going on. But anyway, and you know, she's pulling leaves off of cabbages, and I was like, God, that's stuff I should have been doing. I wasn't doing it. And it was her idea for the dirt under the cucumbers, but that is like a thing. But I wasn't thinking about that. Like, I was just like, yeah, sometimes it's weird. Because I've done enough seasons of gardens where cucumbers can get all different kinds of weird. Some years, like, there'd be balls because there's too much rain. There's nothing I could do about it. You know, I don't know. It's weird. Sometimes I had like no troubles. Like, other people have blights, and I'm like, I guess I'm cool. I don't have them. And in other years, I have like a weird thing go wrong. It's very boring. I want to keep it interesting as possible. it was cool. I got an invitation to do anything. That was something. I'm gonna keep it private because like but I was like, wow, at a safe distance with all the required gear and spray and all that shit. You're supposed to put gloves and foot mittens, whatever, everything. Foot scrubs, shoe scrubs, whatever, everything, all of it. And I don't know, if I'll do anything, if I would go. But it was nice to be invited at all to anything. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Because this is not really, I don't think, a year of a lot of people saying like, anybody do anything. Like, hey, you want to do anything? I know, it is. I've told many episodes where I'm like, I went here and I saw this person and we were together here and everything was all safe and sanctioned off and all that stuff. It was great. We're all monitored, of course. We each had our own Alexa. It's all good. We just want to be good. We just want to be the good people. We just want to behave. We just want to be in a good district. We just want to be like Effie and Stanley Tucci and what's his name, Lenny Kravitz and Woody Harrelson, all those guys. All right, we have it good. That's what I'm trying to make a district like that, where we like defend our police department and all that stuff, and it stays good because they're our neighbors. Because we know those guys. Because they're our neighbors, and it means something because they're real people to us. Because we know them. There's too many people in the city. You can't know everybody. Anyway, what else do I have to say? Oh, good news. I don't know if I said this before, but I've heard one, and I'm not sure, so I don't want to be a liar, but I think I've heard like twice, like a second, like somebody fell in love this year. I know there's a lot of weddings this year, but that's for people who know each other and they want to get married before they feel like, oh no, like we don't know if we'll be able to leave, if we're gonna get like locked down, so we can't get married like ever, because like we'll never be able to leave our district to go to church. We'll never have the credits or whatever, those things that Justin Timberlake had in his arm. Remember that movie where Justin Timberlake had his life credits on his arm or something? It's terrible. Terrible film. Anyway, the future. Yeah. So yeah, I heard one story, well, I personally know people that got married. I was at the wedding. I was like, that felt good. And then I also heard that like people fell in love and met this year. I'm like, oh, that guy? He fell in love? I'm like, that's great. I'm like, yeah, it's serious. I'm like, what, this year? And they're like, yeah, this year. I'm like, that's great. Because I was always thinking, like, like people go to meet at the supermarket and stuff and you can't see anybody's face and shit, and you're like, ah, she looks hot. I can't tell. I don't think like that. I don't think like hot. It's not my vocabulary. Let's talk about that, by the way. If you watch this channel and you remember my old channel, Extreme Narcissism TV, and I used to always talk about old commercial compilations and all the stuff that we learn about programming, like how they want us to think and what they want us to think about the things we buy that are in commercials. And, no, I don't want to lose my train of thought. What did I want to tell you about? Let me have a berry first. Keep looking at them. Oh, hot. I thought hot was something. I didn't know people said that in the 80s. I've seen a bunch of commercials and movie things from the movies from the 80s, and they say hot. I didn't know they did that. Like, I think one of the movies was Joysticks, and it's a terrible film. It's really bad. It's like Meatballs in an arcade, but it's one of those movies that's so bad that it's good, but it's not good. It's just terrible. And you're like, whose idea was this out of a fantasy for people to go watch at the movies? But anyway, in the movie they were saying, oh man, like, she's hot, or that's hot, or something. And I didn't know they said that in the 80s. I was there, but I thought that was like a Paris Hilton thing or something. I didn't know she just took it from the 80s, because she was probably a kid then or something. And that's pretty much all I know about Paris Hilton. She said, that's hot, and she's a bitch or something. And she's taller. Anyway, not my kind of blonde. It doesn't matter. Why do I need to say that? That's not right. Look, it's wrong-hearted. So yeah, I didn't know they said that in the 80s, but they do. And then there was a couple movies I saw and they said hot. I'm like, wow, they say hot? I know they said that. Sounds strange to me. Something else that happened, just to let you know how out of touch I am. I don't do this normally because I have a genuine phobia of the phone, but I'm coming out of that. So I was like, okay, I gotta text somebody, which I don't like to do. I think it strained a relationship I had, where I just like, I don't know what to say, I don't have to text all the time, I love you, but just, it's not, no, I don't want to do this, texting. So anyway, I became a shut-in and closed myself off from the world, and now I'm reaching out again when the world needs such carefully sanctioned and rationed connectivity. What were we talking about again? Oh, so I had to text somebody, and then this is dumb, because you know this for like the whole year, but I didn't. I just found this out like today, as you know, the day I'm making this video. I text somebody, and I wanted to send them the handshaking, like, you know, it was good to meet you, and it was appropriate in the text I was sending, which I'll keep to myself, but it was appropriate to send a handshake, and I couldn't find that, and I'm like, wow, look at all these emojis, like so many, and I didn't realize there was so many. I don't use them much, you know, and I just stay within the, like, there's yellow faces, and there's like cats and seasons and vehicles, and then there's like different symbol people doing things, and that's all I knew it was there. And I just kept going. I was like, what is this? I still don't know what I saw. There's so many emojis. They're just there. I couldn't find handshaking or people shaking hands or people hugging or anything like that. Hugging wouldn't have been appropriate. But I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. They'd take that away probably like right away. There's probably like a big articles and the news today, the emoji, because everybody uses emojis all the time and everybody's always on their phone. I'm not, all right? I'm not. I can't even say I'm a Luddite. You know why? Because I don't have a card. But would there be a card for a Luddite? Because isn't a business card like some kind of technology, right? It's primitive maybe, compared to what people think of now as a technology. I don't know. But anyway, that's that. Another thing that I didn't like, and made me think about Hunger Games and Divergent and the 100 and Maze Runner and Districts and a section in the bookstore before there was no more bookstores except for Barnes and Nobles, or a secondhand place where you just do where the buyback thing is, where everybody trades because it's a future bartering and shit. And in our neo-feudal system, it's feudal and it's futile, because they have the technology and they make Hunger Games dogs and shit. It's gross. Anyway, it's the experimental phase where they experiment on us like never before. And I pray it gets squashed, because even the best laid plans, if they're evil and wicked, can be thwarted easily, right? Holy Spirit even. And that's a lot. We got that. Let's not forget, be optimistic. So, but be realistic, be pragmatic. So what was I saying again? Something about Nixon? Oh yeah, the newspaper. I was looking at the local newspaper and had an article, and in the article in the local newspaper, like front page, Saturday paper says, people from other states are invading our beaches. And I was like, no, 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 no. Don't you dare start this stuff that Joe Rogan raised my eyebrows about years ago when I would tolerate that guy. And he started talking about tribalism, and he'd have all his weirdo friends and guys that they told him to have on his show, or whoever's in charge of that guy. Anyway, whoever signs his $30,000 a week checks or whatever, you can figure it out. More than that now, probably. Now it's just probably like, just let it rip, give him more money, he's the guy. So anyway, Joe Rogan years ago was one of those guys that talked about like tribalism and everybody getting into little groups and stuff like that. And like, yeah, that's also in books by like Kessler, Brzezinski, and Carol Quigley, and Jonas Salk, and the Huxley brothers. Every time I think of the Huxley brothers, I want to take David Bowie's The Boulay Brothers, which is a good song by Bowie, but he's a wicked man. Don't listen to him. Or his music. Don't. I'm just going to say that right now. Anyway, rest his soul wherever it is. Burning in hell. I don't know. He's sleeping. He's sleeping. But anyway, respectfully, David Bowie had a song called The Boulay Brothers, and I wish somebody would redo that and call it the Huxley Brothers. Because, and then they could put all the stuff about transhumanism and Brave New World and all the stuff that those guys did. And I just think of all the stuff that I talked about for years. I'm gonna have to upload my 1984 Brave New World and Plandopolis Megacities videos with old Future Scott with the shoulder pads and all that stuff. I'm gonna have to re-upload those on this channel. You can watch them now on Champion of Love channel. That's the Soften the Coffins channel. Is so good to have my videos on. I don't know why I would do that, but I'm grateful for it. Bless him. He has to do it. I said to bless him. God's got to give you a blessing. You know? Hey, go read the book of Revelations. If you read the book of he who reads or hears the words of the book of Revelations read to them is blessed. I tried to do an episode where I read the book of Revelations, and I did it twice. And I want to say like 3 times, but there was like parts where I would start it and get so far, and I'm like, it's not good enough, and I trash the whole thing. Because when I do it, it's got to be all in one take. So I read the book of Revelations, and I wanted you to have that, because like, well, if anybody listened to it, then they're blessed. Even if they didn't know it, they're blessed. So, but it says right up front, if you read the book of Revelations, it says, to him who hears these words or reads them, they're blessed, right? There's something else that was like a Bible quote about taking a broken man. I want to come back to that later, but for now, we'll let me finish this up. So, I have too many threads out there, and I'm trying to pull everything back together. And I'm like, oh, I haven't done this in a while like that. I got really good at it. It's like a way where you pull a whole bunch of things into an episode, and then you pull it all together for everybody who's been kind enough to listen, and you want to make it worthwhile for them. So that's not just like rambling, wasting of their lives. Like, you want to give them something real, some juice, something they can live with to make their life better. Because they do. Is that wrong that I want to do that? I do this, I don't even make any money. But I'm not opposed. I think it would be kind of cool if somebody somebody made like a tribute channel of my old videos. Like there's 2 of them, I think. And then monetized it and made money, and it became like a big hit. I mean, I wish it was my money, but I'm not opposed to it either. I think it would be cool if that worked. I'm like, well, hey, but I don't want people to see my old videos because I'm embarrassed by them. I'm cleaning up my act, you know? I think I can be good now. And that's coming to the broken man thing. I feel like I've been dumb my whole life. That came out really great, didn't it? I feel as though I have lived in a fog, and then something happened something happened years ago that continued to unfold, where I think I got old enough and had life experience and had learned lessons where I'm like, I don't want to do that stuff anymore, and I could look back on what I lived and was able to take myself apart. So there's a saying that goes something like this, and it's from the Bible, and it says, give to me a broken man, and with him I can do something. And that's like when you're weary from the world, and you know how all this shit you tried of your own will doesn't work, and you're doing it without God, how different your life can change, and probably how fast with him, when you find God. And it says, give me a broken man. And of course it's like a disgusting thing, like there's probably like the slogan of other weird, horrible groups or associations where they too want broken people for their needs and purposes, but it's a distortion of something beautiful. Go ahead, fall on your face, and when you're done, your daddy will come because he loves you and he never stopped loving you. You just turned away from him because you wouldn't do it your way. And then you can surrender. It's not AA stuff, because I don't like that. This is different. This is like stuff that's in the Bible. People don't like it when I do this, but I can't. It's what I am that guy, right? You know? So, people who don't have what I just said, you know, like never heard that, they know enough, like, I've heard this, this is leading to what I want to say. I've heard multiple people say that there's times when they lost everything that they had in their lives, which is terrible. But they all have the same story that goes with it. Yeah, it's terrible and they wish they had things they can never get back. But at the same time, they said there was something so freeing about having lost like pretty much everything, because like their apartment building burned down and lost all their stuff. Like multiple stories of this with the same ending, where they're like, yeah, but it was something really great about it. It was just all gone. It's like start over. Of course, you know, the world, that's the world of plenty. I don't know what we're heading into. This austerity, Agenda 21, Blade Runner 2049, Agenda 2030, all that stuff, you know, Davos and all those things. So I don't know what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? Let's just eat ice cream and shut up. So anyway, yeah, I'll go back to something I was saying before. I know I'm jumping around. So I saw a thing in a newspaper, and it was like front page because they wanted you to read it in the local burg, and it said people from other states are coming to our beaches. And I was like, yeah, this is just like all this stuff they want to do where they like sanction everything off and have purges and little gangs, and it's just a mess. It's like Neo Tokyo and Akira with the clowns and the guys with the pills on their jacket, whatever their gang was. It's anime. It was probably, I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep gathering raspberries and either make a pie or just freeze them or dehydrate them. I forget what to do. The day started out bad. I had an angry morning and I thought, I don't know how today's gonna go. I don't think I behaved properly, like within minutes of waking up. And then the day just got better and better. It's good. And it was a harvest, there was good times with good company. A whole bunch of things worked out. I did have some weird times. The morning was kind of weird. It was like I had to sort out some kind of weirdness. And there's a lot of weird like running around and back and forth kind of nonsense. Same kind of things that your lives have probably. And once that was all sorted out, it just was good to go in the garden. I was worried about my garden. I didn't think it was gonna do so great. It's doing great. Not as many sunflowers as I wanted. But if I planted them now, they probably will have time to grow to maturity, but it'll be cutting it close towards like fall, or when it'll get cold, or it'll be like a cold snap or something. But I think I can still do sunflowers. Maybe this is boring to you, but sunflowers have been so easy for me. I had duck feed and had black oil sunflower seeds in it whole. So they just kept being on the top all the time, and the ducks are like, when I grind it into grain, it's just gross, all right? Like ducks don't even want to, you know, like those people that suck on sunflower seeds because they have barbecue salt on them or whatever? Yuck. Okay? There's two things in my family. We don't like sunflower seeds with no shells, okay? And we don't watch other people play sports. Playing them's fine. Daddy was a race car driver. Watching that, fine if daddy's in the race. Watching other people play sports, why? Unless you're gambling, which you shouldn't be, and we don't. I mean, there's no gambling in my family. But that'd be the only reason you'd watch a sport, right? You're like, well, I got money on this, you know? But you wouldn't, they don't do that. We don't do that. So there's two things. I told you. I don't want to say it again. I don't remember what they were. But, anyway, I'm glad to hear that people are falling in love this year, because other episodes I did on my old podcast, Extreme Narcissism TV, before I ended that podcast, and I think early episodes on Mammoth Pop Culture on this channel, I think I did say something about, I hope people are still falling in love and meeting this year. And yes, they are. I have one definite example, and perhaps two, and I did attend a wedding. But it doesn't count because those people that get married, they've known each other for years. So they're getting married this year, so it's not the same thing. But it's still about love and everything. It was great. And it's one flesh. It's a big deal. Big deal. One of the biggest tortures of my life, which I guess I don't mind you knowing, is I was married and divorced, and it's one of the biggest tortures of my life, because God hates divorce. And I knew it on some level. I knew it, and I did everything I could. And it's just like, I'm not gonna talk about my life. It's not appropriate to do that. I did that too much in my old podcast. Don't put those episodes up, please. Don't, when I talk about people in my life where somebody's chasing me with a knife, don't put those episodes up. That's the worst of me. It's me at my lowest. Talking about people from my life like that, it's wrong. So anyway, what was I saying? I talk so much I forget the things I used to say all the time that were like my repeated mantras to you that were important. I'll say one of them now. Planet Daddy issue. Call your father. Everybody has this one issue in life. It's because they either don't know, don't believe, or aren't sure about their Father, God. Their Father who art in heaven and His only begotten Son, Jesus. That's what you're going to get from me, because that's where we live. I would be wrong. Don't you remember Michael York as John the Baptist? He had to tell Herod, And Herodias, his wife and everything, he had to tell him, he's like, you can't marry your brother's wife. He's like, it's a sin, like I can't not tell you that you can't, I know you're the king, I gotta tell you. I don't want to embitter and embarrass you, but I have to say it. Spoiler alert. Herod gets kind of tricked in having John's head cut off. I know you know this. Some people don't know this. John the Baptist, Michael York, it's just, that movie. Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth. I'm going to do a whole episode on it again because it's worthy of it, but I want to set some things up. I want to have my risen from the tomb thing on top of the pillar, and I want to have all that set up. And I want to do a review of Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth. In my opinion, it's the best film ever made in the history of cinema. Do film critics ever recognize it for what it is? There's nothing in cinema history that hits all the chords that film hits, which I should just save for that episode. But it's like the perfect movie. It's made for everything to be beautiful. It's about God. But everything's done, like the performances, the cast, the star-studded, everything is just in perfection. And it's Hollywood, and it's beautiful, and it's respectful. And the whole thing is beautiful. There's no other film like it. I don't want to hear about some Aronofsky stuff. None of that. No. I'm talking about something of beauty that nothing since, not Passion of the Christ, nothing. That's nothing to Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth. I think, I don't want to hear anybody mocking that, okay? It just rolls off my back. You just don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing like that in the world, in any other country, in any other language, that is what that film is. Everything's so beautifully done. The apostles, the casting, the delivery of every line, the performances, whatever they had to do. Go look up this, how to get Blade Runner eyes in your video, and see all this crazy stuff they do with lenses reflecting off of light to make it look like you have replicant eyes. It's just some replicant eyes in Blade Runner. It's just something that human eyes do when you put weird lights on them and reflect it off and stuff. Anyway, whatever Zeffirelli did to make Robert Powell and Mary look, you know, like better than us, and you know, like to make everybody look glowing when they're having their moments. Who does that stuff? Nobody looks good like that now. It's digital, high definition, blah blah blah. I don't care if you don't like me gushing about this. This is the best film. Everything about it is, it's like it, you know, there's different versions of telling, like there's different apostles tell, you know, like the resurrection and what angels were there sitting on the tomb. There's differences in that, all right? It doesn't matter. Everything that needs to come across in that movie is there, and it's telling the greatest story ever told, even though that's a different movie with Max von Sydow. I don't really like him as Jesus. I'm just going to say that. Nothing against him. He's a great Ming. I think he plays baddies, okay? He's great with that, okay? Ming is great. Jesus with Max von Sydow, I don't know. I can't get into it. I'm sorry. He lived to be like 92, Max von Sydow. I think he just died in 2019 or 2020. I'm not sure. Anyway, bless him. So, but Robert Powell is Jesus? Come on. No. I don't know. I think Henry Cavill in Passion of the Christ would have been a really great Jesus, but I don't know why they gave him a big fake nose to make him look like that Akiana painting. Is that why they did that? I don't know. But I don't think they need to give him that nose. Just that was not necessary. But anyway, he was basically wearing a wound anyway, right? Did you ever see the making in the Passion of the Christ? He's just like wearing a wound. He's just like wearing like a bodysuit of a Grunwald. It's a rough film. But I'm more moved by Franco Zeffirelli's 6 hours of Jesus of Nazareth, followed by Masada every Easter weekend, Easter holiday. I never watched it. And I went to a Goodwill, and there it was, 2 DVDs, like 6 hours long or something. Of course, you can watch it for free on YouTube, but I got it from the Goodwill, like $2.97 or something like this. And I watched it, and I was like, I can't tell you about that movie. I can't watch that movie with other people around. Like that's it's like, I have to be alone to watch that movie. I didn't know I had a movie like that. You know what I mean? Like, it can't be a woman around when watching Jesus of Nazareth. What are you talking about? I'm a man. It's the best movie. If it doesn't mean anything to you, I pray that one day it will. And now I say all those nice things, I'm gonna ruin it all. And then he went and ruined it all by doing something foolish like Cigarillo. Wait a minute. I need help. Oh, that's good. I gotta plug in. I'm sorry, guys. Nanites. The future gets weird. Blame MIT. They're also the ones that made everything all Dayglow and vaporwave. Because if you look up online, it's the weirdest thing. MIT has like plans to like spray over vegetation and make it luminescent. You know how? Who was it that made the glow-in-the-dark cats and the monkeys and the pigs? So when the kittens were born, the kittens came out glowing. Did they come out different colors? No. They came out phosphorescent or glowing or whatever. So that's the future. Doped out in LED and vaporwave. I was doing it for years. I have weird bad dreams. I was looking at the time. I had 2 of them. And it was 4 or 5 years. This is what it is. Take it or leave it. I don't read much into dreams unless if you have like a dream or a vision, you'll know it. And you know what? Maybe I shouldn't talk about that shit. Anyway, Ready Player One, where people don't have anything to do but they're online. Some people are gonna get antsy, and some people are just gonna not know what to do and feel lost and have like no direction in life. There's nothing to do and just wait for stuff to come in. It's weird. I'd like to tell you about anime hell, and I don't know if I ever did. But I did something bad once, and I was punished. And I think I was punished with the nightmare of being shown what hell was like, but it was shown to me in a way that I could handle, and it was barely tolerable. And it was hell in the form of an anime. It was hell, but it was anime-ized. Like a filter was put over hell, so it was anime, so I could tolerate it. And it was shown to me. And it never ended. It was like relentless torment of like, I watched, it was like Dante's Inferno. It was made of anime, which actually was made of anime, but a bad one. Anyway, this was like the kind you never want to see. This is like every day's peak a day for Barefoot Gen anime. It was horrifying. The worst, you just don't want to see it. And people were like hunted and tortured, and then they became part of the fabric of hell, and it was torture for them, and it just kept happening. It was terrible, and it was anime. And then I woke up. And I immediately began to pray, please make me forget this, Lord. I get it. I know why you showed me that. I knew right away. I spoke ill of somebody that the Lord loves probably better than me. I don't care. I'll say it like that. And I was given a taste of hell. Anime hell. Because I knew it was like, that's what you could handle. Because I couldn't handle it. And it had only been a half an hour. I had, in prayer, kind of like chewed somebody out to God, and went to sleep and was shown a dream of hell, and I woke up and I was like, yeah, I get it, I was wrong. And I love that guy now, I really do. But I spoke ill of somebody, and I guess I just said what I did. But it didn't go over well, and I was given a dream. And it was great, because I did forget, like I asked for, like I prayed for, to forget it and never remember it. I hope that holds. And but it was terrible, and it felt like eternity. But then I woke up and I was like, I thought it was the whole night, and it was a half an hour, and my clothes were probably soaked. I mean, like from sweat and stuff. It was, there's nothing I could say because it's indescribable. It was like people were running away from hell, trying to escape it, but they were in it. And then it just consumed them and took them over, and they became part of it, and they were tortured by it, and it just never ended. It was like this relentless pursuit or something, and they could never get away from it. It was all animated, but it was nothing. You would never, nobody would think this is cool. Not even the dumbest, like reads Glenn Danzig demon comics and all that stupid shit. Like yeah, they think like all the devil shit's cool and all that. You know, like they don't know what they're doing. Like they're ignorant, so like. You know, it's like probably gets them far with God because God knows exactly how ignorant they are. They're like Beavis and Butthead, and they think like devil stuff is cool because they watch TV or something, and they watch wrestling and like Crowley or whatever. So anyway, the point is, ignorant people and the devil stuff. What was I? I don't even know what I was talking about. I don't know. Sorry, I had to turn the filter off. I just couldn't, I don't know. I want to do this, I want to quit doing this entirely. But I've got to do at least one episode outside at nighttime and at my actual outside with the firework flies, because you haven't seen them yet. So I want to do a nighttime episode with that. But the episodes, they come in, it's like, they're like waves. Like when I have like a wave and I'll do a bunch of episodes and then nothing, and then I'll do one here or there, or I'll just have like a steady clip of episodes. Like there's no, like when I got them, I got them. When I don't got them, I don't got them. And you don't even know this. I don't know if it matters. I don't know who's still here. Thank you for that. I don't know if I'm giving you anything really great. But I have like 50 episodes nobody's ever gonna see because they're just terrible, or I started them out when I was drunk or something, and that's no good. You can't do that. I can't even live that anymore. I wasn't a drunk or anything, but I mean, just it's not a good way to start. I can tell, like I was slurring, and I was like, nah. It's like I used to do open mics, so I don't think I've ever done it sober. I would always have a drink to loosen me up, some spirits to get spirited, or whatever you want to say. And I don't need to do that anymore. But I did, and when it showed in episodes, they were no good. So it's like all these episodes, like I don't know if I can like cut them shorter or cut them into bits. But it's like it's like 50 episodes. There's good stuff in there. You know what they say, kill your darlings? What if all you have is the darlings and everything else is crap? How do you share your darlings? Like, is it not the age of share your darlings? Hey, I don't have anything good. I just have a couple of darlings. You know what kill your darlings is? It's like when you have something good, but it doesn't help your story that you're trying to tell for a movie or just like a book or whatever. So it's like you have these great moments that are cool and people like them and you like them, but you're like, it doesn't, they gotta go. And that's called kill your darlings, which is probably a bad term to use. I don't know, this, and I keep getting the stuff on my tongue because I should have cut the filter off instead of breaking it off, because then I wouldn't have tobacco puke in my mouth. Yeah, I don't know what kind of episode this is. This is probably the kind that I shouldn't share because it's just all over the place. I just stopped cold and I was telling you about things. There's no, I didn't really have much pre-thought. I was like, oh, I'll talk about this, talk about that, talk about that. So yeah, I think there's gonna be more stuff for like, don't come over to our place, you stay in your place. And then it helps people like wanna have this stupid like, hey, forget about sports. We're just gonna have like, your shitberg versus my shitberg. Nobody does anything. We're in post-humanism. We don't need man to do anything. We just need to give everybody their Joe Rogan living stipend. Why do I always call it living stipend? It's not that. It's universal basic income. Same, whatever. Universal basic income. Here's your options, which are limited. And then here's something to do something with. And everybody can sell each other stuff to print on their 3D printers. They have them, or they know somebody that can print stuff for them, or they have to pay to get it printed, whatever. I don't know how you can live on that. How's the t-shirt economy? Are there any jokes about the t-shirt economy this year? I happen to know that places that are doing the screen printing and all that vinyl stuff are actually doing good. Yeah, they're printing all the stickers for how we're supposed to behave everywhere, where to go, how to keep... It's true. It's true. I really do know people like this, and they have multiple businesses, and the one business that's thriving this year is making all the plastics and signs and all the printing stuff, but not just for the new normal with a Y. Why? Why? I'll tell you why. Globalist books. The open secret, that's why. And yet somehow all roads lead to God, and these maniacs really do want to do like some kind of mark of the beast system ever. And I'm like, yeah, you just want to make it happen. You just like crave, these guys like crave annihilation. Don't worry, here's the good news. Eternity awaits. Here's what you do. This is my advice. Repent. call your daddy. This is Planet Daddy issue. Who is your daddy? What does he do? He's God the Father. What does he do? Everything. He's the creator of all. You don't need anybody else. God the Father and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. Go get chrismation. Make it happen. That's the Holy Spirit. You need it. Right? There's so many things that tell you about superpowers and you want powers and abilities, and all you had to do is call your dad. I don't know if you're gonna get powers or abilities, but you need somebody to talk to. You fear, I don't know who you are, maybe I do. You fear rejection. You fear it's rejection from your father. It's not your father on earth. Maybe a lot of people do have this. Everybody's daddy issues. I say Planet Daddy issue. I mean it's Planet Daddy issue with God the Father. That's how it jolly well is. I gotta make that t-shirt. Can I sell that t-shirt? Should I start selling t-shirts here now and just do the Planet Daddy issue t-shirt and get it over with? It's kind of the one I've always wanted to do. Either that one or Teacup Mrs. shirt that was tastefully done, but I'm like, who's gonna want to buy a shirt? It's gonna look like an anime thing with a woman in a teacup or something. They're not gonna know what that is. But a Planet Daddy issue, I mean, I already have the design and everything. It just looks like Planet Hollywood, but it says Planet Daddy issue. It says call your father who art in heaven. That's how it is. If you're ever gonna have an experience like that, like you wanna have, you're gonna find out that it's like beyond man or woman, but it's God the Father, and you're like, that's why it feels like dad. Because that's what it is. I'm sorry, that's where we live. It's where we live. I can't be any other guy than say these things now. I'm sorry. Planet Daddy issue. Everybody has this fear of rejection, and it's something that was taught to me by maybe iniquitous woman, and like a mentor of mine who's older than me, like much older. And isn't it weird how women are like have like some kind of evil power and they can hold on to like their youth and their looks? Like, I mean, I don't know. Anyway, she said everybody has this fear of rejection, but she didn't say from God. That I earned that. That's mine. But she pointed me to it. She said, because she was a manipulator of people, and she was so good at it. She manipulated me and everything. This wasn't about sex or anything. It was just like a mentor. And she was so manipulative. And I had that confrontation with her and everything. I suppose it's okay to say that. I'm like, you're so manipulative. I can't hang out with you. But I learned so much from the one thing that she said that was true, and it's good. So bless her for that, and all the other good things I got from her. People are a mixed bag. I say iniquitous, and people have good things and bad things, and she did so much good for so many people. She's a good woman, but she's a mixed bag. I was a mixed bag too. I was a good person, and I was not so great person. But anyway, I didn't manipulate people like she did. I just didn't want to be responsible for that. Like, but I did learn something from when she said, people have this fear of rejection. Like everybody has it. It's like everybody's singular core issue. Like they'll be rejected. So if you can figure out that about people, then you can make people feel at ease or uncomfortable. Or it's like, you know, the possibilities are limited only by your own deviousness, I suppose, to want to treat people like that. I would want to make people feel warmed and welcome, but not too much, because I'm a hermit. I want to keep them away. I need space. I've had too many jobs and travels and meetings and times with people where I had a job where I was doing parties, so you're always meeting people and everybody's having fun and they're drunk and loose. I'm like, I don't need a lot of people around all the time, okay? I know that from experience. So, but we need people in our lives, of course we do. And then sometimes it doesn't matter what we want. Sometimes we're called to be around a whole bunch of people. So if I'm called to be that guy again, whatever. I will, wait, what is it? I forget what it is. Something like, teach me your will. Direct my will. This is what it is. Direct my will. Teach me to pray, and you yourself pray in me. Why don't you say that to Pop? Huh? Why don't you take that to Abba? Please. Please. I shouldn't have took me so long to remember. That's one of my most favorite things. Direct my will, teach me to pray, and you yourself pray in me. Lay that on the old man. I mean it. It's not disrespectful. I'm talking to you. I want you to hear me. He knows how much I love him. I'll cry. That's why I can't watch Jesus of Nazareth with you. Like, never. Should we do that once? Should I try and do a live stream where whoever shows up is like 12 people or something? That's cool. That's enough. And was it because of Apostle? I didn't think of 12. Anyway, and watch Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth. There's no way I could do it without crying or something. It's just the thing that, I don't know, nothing gets to me. Oh, the dog got ran over by a car. Okay. But I can't. You can't be there for this. But it would be cool if we could do a live stream, which would be like a day. Like, okay, we're gonna pause it now. Does anybody want to take a pee-bake, and we'll pause it, and everybody take a break, we'll come back. There's only gonna be a couple people, right? There, for the future. Do you want to spend a day with me on like Google or whatever? Do they figure out Google live streams again? Where we can watch Franco Zeffirelli's Jesus of Nazareth and have a chat thing or whatever? Or I could upload it on my channel and do it as a premiere where we watch it. And do you want to spend a day? I don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to lose my voice. Maybe I wouldn't. But it's a powerful thing. I don't want you to manipulate people. I want you to think about yourself and other people and how they fear this rejection from God, even if they don't believe in Him. Because God's real. Sorry if you don't like that. You're gonna have to. It's gonna come up. There's no way around it. You don't realize what you're missing. The resurrection and the Holy Spirit is because we messed up down here and we have death. Adam brought death. Adam and Eve brought death to the world. And Jesus said it right. Got them and Moses and everybody else out of Hades. Life and eternity in the Holy Spirit forever. A kingdom that has no end. Do you know what for ages of ages means? Unto ages of ages? Forever. That's like your Dragon Ball Z spirit form. Forever. Battle of the gods, except you're not going to be wanting to do that nonsense. Whatever it is that they do and the thing, people don't even know it's in the Bible. It's amazing. The power and what's the things of heaven, like you just don't know what's going on. There's so much stuff going on there. It's like they never put that stuff in any kind of movies. They never put it in movies. Like there's never, like that's why I said, Jesus of Nazareth, it's the best film ever made of any film. On so many levels, because it's about the most important thing. It means something. It's beautifully done. Attention to everything is where it should be in its proper place. It's a thing of beauty. I mean, I don't know about Quentin Tarantino. Did he ever watch Jesus of Nazareth? Can't he appreciate just the beauty and perfection of what Zeffirelli did with everything? Robert Powell is Jesus? Come on. Olivia Hussey is Mary. Come on. Stop. Ernest Borgnine is Centurion. Yes, I said it. The only thing is, Charlton Heston wasn't in it. It would have been cool if he would have been in that. But we know him. We got him already from Moses, and I think he also played John the Baptist too. The lowliest in the kingdom of heaven. See, I can't talk about this shit. I can't talk about John the Baptist with you. I can't do it. You don't know what you're missing. You got to get yourself an Orthodox study Bible and just let it gut your life. Let it gut your life. Do the Jesus prayer, then look out. You're gonna be a wreck, and know that that's what you're doing. Or don't do that. That Jesus prayer. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that whole thing. Because then I'm gonna be telling you how to do it, and if it's not a good idea, I don't want to tell anybody to do that. Careful what you ask for. You might get it. Who are you asking? Who are you talking to? Be good. Bless you.